The main disagreement we had, like, was at first. I was, you know, like, again, I'm like strident. I want there to be something that says why we shouldn't do this. This is a bad thing to do, you know? And he picked two quotes that had to do with forgiveness. And I'm like, I don't really want to forgive these people. I was still in that mode. But Anthony, from his point of view as an African American, how do you survive without forgiving, without dealing with that, the past that we cannot change? So you just don't move forward if you've got all this rage about something you can't even change. You have to start where you are in the present moment, and you have to somehow get over that. So I guess you just got the quotes handed out to you? Yeah, the Anne Lamott quote. Forgiveness is, somebody. Thank you. All hope of having had a better past. We can't have a better past. I put that quote up in my studio just to sort of think about it. I mean, it helps me in my personal life too, to just move on. The other things I think that we talked about were, you know, just what are the core sentiments? You know, I guess one of them is the one that says love is all we have, the only way that each can help the other. And I think that basically that's what we ended up with. This is what we have. This is what we're going to have a few quotes about love, forgiveness, and that sort of thing on the memorial, because that really is all we can do. So, at the point of finishing the bronzes, 6 months into the memorial, we had not had any new donations. The city had only raised $75,000. I had a down payment of $20,000 on the walls. I had the bronzes cost $20,000 to have cast. Like, we were near the end of that initial chunk of money, and there was $60,000 I was going to have to pay. I was afraid out of my own pocket, you know, which isn't that big, to the people that were casting the wall, which was done in New Ulm, Minnesota. So fortunately at that time, some of the Art Institute staff stepped into the committee and helped them organize how to raise funds. And Mayor Doty came through with some major donations. But until it's a dilemma. Public art is a dilemma, because sometimes until people start seeing something coming up and seeing that it's good, they're not going to donate money. So how can you get money unless you can prove that what you're doing is going to be good? You can't until you can see it. So I think the committee, certainly Anthony and I, and probably the city of Duluth, we're all working a little bit with faith, which is not exactly a thing you want to do if you like to feel secure. But we did it anyway, and it worked. But at this point, I just want to tell you that it was a hard thing to go forward with. It was really scary for me. I'd never had a project this big, and I think it was pretty scary for the committee. You know, here they are in deep, but how are we going to raise the funds? Well, we did, and the walls got shipped up to Duluth, and here they are coming in on a truck. Now they're divided up. So my initial plan was given to an architect. He divided it up, that works with this wall company, and got it all laid out. It was very cool to see it finally come up. So here it is coming in, and those things are massively huge. They weigh a lot. And they had to be threaded exactly on these poles. These poles had to be perfectly straight up and down. This was giving me a heart attack. You know, are you sure you can do it? Are you sure? You know, I had to just like double check a million times, because all of a sudden it's out of my hands, you know, but there they are going on. This is a wonderful guy who worked for the company that did these, and he always wore a cowboy hat over his hard hat. He liked to ride in on the wall pieces too. There's the guys. This was kind of this wall had broken in its initial casting, so they had to recast it. So that was a little scary too, lifting it up like that. The bronzes are on it, you know, if it had fallen. Anyway, I'm being dramatic, but it was scary. So now we've got the wall in place, and suddenly funds are coming in. This was the summer before the memorial was dedicated in October 10th. So in the summer, we started getting a lot of funds coming in, and some, I think probably Heidi, did Heidi tell you about the anonymous donation? Yeah, that was so touching. I think we all cried when that came in. You know, somebody who felt bad donates $10,000. We were just sobbing. It was very, very emotional.